You're on death's door, all hope seems lost, and you fire off just enough damage to get a second wind and completely turn the tide of battle. That is just one of the many enjoyments waiting for you on Borderlands 2. This is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and I'm going to be reviewing the PlayStation 3 version of the game. The original Borderlands withstood the test of time. Even after releasing 3 years ago, I saw a good portion of my own friends list playing that title every so often over the last couple years. And I spent a good portion of my own time playing one of the downloadable content areas long after the game had released and I'd already finished playing it. Will this new title have that same lasting appeal? Let's find out in the review. The environments have more detail, there's much better use of lighting, and the enemy variety is greatly improved over the original game. The biggest and most noticeable difference between the two Borderlands titles is going to be the actual landscape that you're doing combat in. In the original, it seemed the majority of the game was different shades of brown and gray, with a lot of the areas looking dirty and purposely trashy. The sequel kind of addresses this issue early on and throws a barrage of colors and much cleaner looking environments your way. It's still a vast wasteland, but it's a lot easier on the eyes this time around. The bosses in the arenas they're waiting for you in are much better designed and overall provide a better and funner battle experience compared to the first title.
Hey! You talking to yourself again? Man, I worry about your sanity sometimes.
In the original, the story was just a means to an end to collect the vast amount of various different weapons found littered throughout the game world. While funny at times, it really didn't have much of a backbone behind it, and this was addressed in this new title with a much better plotline, better storytelling, and side quests that have some flavor to them. The characters you meet have the same crazy personalities as what was found in the original, but the script was much better this time around, so don't be surprised if you actually pay attention to what's going on and what's being said. The main villain taunts you throughout your playthrough with witty and sarcastic dialogue and really drives your quest along. Pretty much every complaint with the story element from the original has been fixed, and you have a much clearer goal with what you're doing other than just shooting everything and anything in sight. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of this review, and I'm going to start with my 4 complaints that I have with this title. Number 1, the vehicles are still a pain to control. It's better than the first, but they're still awkward. Number 2, if you're playing local co-op, you have an option for a split screen vertically or horizontally. If you enjoy playing it vertically like I do, it can cut off the sides of the menus, making it a bit annoying to see some of the things that you need to see. Number 3, some areas are extremely big, and once you complete what you need to do inside of them, there's often times that you'll be backtracking a good ways and have to refight enemies that have respawned. Number 4, when you first begin the game, your inventory is limited to 12 slots. This may sound like a lot, but there's just so much dropping on the ground and hardly any time to actually just stop and stand around and look at the items. So you'll be frequently sorting and dropping inventory mid-mission. You eventually start adding more slots to your backpack and you'll gain the ability to store items in the vault, but it's still a chore the first few hours that you play. With that said, the menus look absolutely awesome on here. One of the best designed menus I've seen in a while, so the time spent in them isn't as painful. And the ability to zoom in and take a really close look at every highly detailed weapon is also a nice touch. One of the best features that this game carries is going to be the online co-op, which works really well because no matter what level you are compared to your friends, it's going to find a way to even things out in every regard. At one point I was level 13 playing with a level 1 character, and while they were dying left and right, they were also leveling up extremely fast to catch up to me. And dying on here isn't really that big of a deal. It does take a few dollars away from you, but it generally respawns you close to the action, so there's not a long walk involved in most cases. As far as weapons go, they're similar to the original, but they've added a lot of little improvements and new stats. But the thing I noticed most was the much better use of the scopes. Long range and short range, they both look better and they're more effective to use. I've played with several friends online on this game so far, and every one of them has stated they're really enjoying this game. Every major reviewer, and even most of the smaller ones, are just going nuts over this title. It currently holds a Metacritic score of 92 with 12 reviews turned in so far, which is an extremely high score from that site. I've had a lot of fun playing this game, and it's going to be one that I'm going to keep in my gaming collection until the end of time. But here's one thing I'd like to put out there on the table for you guys. If you played the original and you didn't like it, then chances are, even with all these improvements and adjustments and great core gameplay, you're probably still not going to like this sequel. It's a much better game, but it's still a lot like the original. However, if you even remotely enjoyed the first one, then chances are you're going to love this game. As far as online co-op experiences go, it's one of, if not the best, co-op experience that you can have in a shooter to date. They've already announced multiple downloadable content packs on the way, and for those that played the expansions from the original know that these are usually worth checking out, so that's something to look forward to. Finally, once you do get your hands on a copy, if you're like me and you have friends that enjoy running their mouth and pestering you, make sure you keep a big bad bazooka in your inventory for situations like this.
You want to spar?
The true world revealed. Weakness is now known to me. Time to go to work.
Anyways, this is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and thanks for stopping by.